Hello, everyone. 45 minutes today to get rid of our back pain. That is our goal for today's class. So what you're going to need is pretty simple, a yoga mat. It is a yoga class after all. And then you're going to need a yoga bolster. Now, if you're new to yoga and you don't have a yoga bolster, or maybe you've been practicing yoga forever, but you don't have a yoga bolster, there are many alternatives to be using a yoga bolster for a class, particularly a class like today where we're going to be using the bolster for the majority of the class. So you can take 3 or 4 folded bath towels and kind of put them on top of each other. You can use Chesterfield sofa, love seat cushions, whatever you've got that's going to kind of elevate you off the ground. That's the key thing for today's class. And if you're going to use any sort of pillowing besides a bolster, your goal is somewhere around 6 inches to elevate yourself up. But obviously, if you're elevated a little bit less or more than that, it doesn't matter that much. All right, so let's get working on relieving some back pain in our low back today. So have yourself a seat on your bolster. A couple of options for you for sitting on your bolster. If your hips are really tight and your back and glutes are really tight, you know that because as you're sitting, your legs are up here, then this may not be the best option for you. Just gently let your legs kind of rest out to the side, have your knees gently bent. If you have any sort of knee pain or hip pain sitting on a bolster, an elevated surface, you can always allow yourself to sit in more of a straddle position so that your leg bones are more straight. So I like to kind of show that for maybe some variation of individuals to start a yoga class. Okay, so now that you've got yourself in a seated position, pick whichever way you want. We're going to start with something nice and simple to really increase blood flow to your low back area. And that is diaphragmatic breathing with a modification of cat-cow and sitting. So before we start our cat-cows, let's make sure everybody understands how to get the diaphragm or belly breath happening. It is the breathing exercise we are going to use over and over and over today. So take your left hand for a quick second, place it on your chest, take your right hand, place it on your belly. If you could stick your pinky into your belly button and then lay your hand down, that's about where you want your hand on your belly. That's going to tell you that your diaphragm is expanding your belly and you're not just pushing your intra-abdominal pressure out. All right, so now that you've got yourself in that position, sit nice and tall for me. Don't worry so much about your base of support because we're going to be moving pretty quickly. And make sure that you don't let your left hand move. Now, allow yourself to inhale. And as you inhale, allow your right hand and your belly to expand outward. And then exhaling through the nose, just gently let that air fall outward. All right, so try that one more time. As you inhale, chest stays still, belly expands outward. And as you exhale, the air just simply comes out of the lungs through the nose, and then you start all over again. All right, now, hands onto the thighs. Let's go through this breathing belly diaphragmatic breath work with movement of our spine. So it's really about the low back today. So it's going to be about rolling the pelvis forward on your inhale, modification to cow pose or cow pose, and then rolling your pelvis back and gently sitting on your tailbone, modification to cat pose. Now, as you're doing that today, at no point through the movement should you feel that you're pushing yourself into your pain. So find that edge of pain if you have back pain and stay right there, even if your movement is this big. All right, so let's go through this 5 times. Place your hands onto your thighs. Once your hands are onto your thighs, use the strength of your lats and your arms to kind of lift your rib cage up a little bit today. So unload or decompress your lumbar spine. Now keep that traction as you're lifting up today. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you inhale, roll the pelvis forward, stick the belly out. So not so much worrying about what's happening to the upper half of your body today. Then as you exhale, let the air come out and gently roll the tailbone back. You've got it. Inhale, roll the pelvis forward, stick the belly out. exhale, gently roll the pelvis backward. Just let the air come out. Try not to hard contract your abdominals. All right, 3 more times. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Maybe put a smile on your face while you're doing it. Exhaling. And one more time. Inhaling. And exhaling. You've got it. So it's nice and easy. So in sitting, a very simple way to increase the blood flow to our lumbar spine, especially if what you're doing is sitting all day. Just doing something as simple as we just did will help you relieve back pain. All right, so we're moving off our bolster for a few minutes to get onto our hands and knees. So kind of sweep your feet one way, move your bolster a little bit out of your way, and then take yourself onto your hands and knees. Now, as you're making your way onto your hands and knees, check in that your knees are hip distance apart, and then look back behind you and see that your feet and your heels line up with your knees, and then stack your hips directly on top of those knees. Then allow yourself to kind of walk your hands forward until you feel like your wrists and your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. Index fingers are forward. Thumbs, really pull them inward and spread out those outer 3 fingers. All right, so we're going to do cat cows in this position, but the full cat cow now. So what I want you to do is take an inhale and let your belly sink. Let your tailbone lift. Let your shoulder blades come back. Really drop that chest, lengthen your neck, and look up. And then as you exhale, pull the belly up and in. So using abdominals now, tuck the tailbone under, curl the rib cage under, chin to the chest, and gaze into your belly button. Now, same rules about when we did this in sitting. So through the range of motion, stop when you feel the onset of pain. Don't let yourself push through pain. So inhaling down into cow pose. Exhaling up into cat pose. 2, 3 more times here. Inhaling down. And exhaling up. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. All right, one more because it feels so good. Inhaling down. And exhaling up. All right, now in this cat pose, really tuck your tailbone under, pull your abdominals in, and then use the strength of your arms to gently sit yourself back. Go to where your knees can take you. But if you can get your sit bones to your heels, wonderful. Then let your belly rest on your thighs, chest on your knees, slowly drop your elbows, and then gently bring the crown of the head to the floor as you're looking back behind you through your knees at those toes that are nice and aligned with your knees and your hips. All right, so take a nice deep inhale here. And exhaling out. And one more breath. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Slowly bring yourself back up onto hands and knees. Now we're going to kind of play with loosening up our joints a little bit here. So what I want you to do is I want you to sink a little bit down into cow pose. Now you're not going into your full cow pose, but I want you to let your belly sink down where your tailbone lift a little bit and kind of let your shoulder blades pull back a little bit. Now that you have yourself in that position, I want you to play with rocking your body. And so as you rock your body forward and backwards, staying in your cow pose, you're starting to gently loosen up some of those joints that may be stiff, stuck, whatever you want to call it, and therefore hopefully decreasing some inflammation and pain. So you're shifting your weight to your knees, you're shifting your weight to your hands, you're breathing normally here, no deep and diaphragmatic breaths, but just try a couple of more times, just shifting your weight forward, onto the hands, shifting your weight backward onto your knees, and then come back up into the centered position And then start to curl yourself up, tuck the tailbone under. Find a modification of cat pose. So you're not in the end range. So you're certainly not where you feel major tension yet. And then try to rock. So as you rock forward and as you rock backward, you're kind of moving to different segments of your low back. So as you move to different segments of your low back, you may feel more tension, but just breathing normally, just slowly opening up through each and every one of those segments of your back for a few moments before we really start to decompress that back. All right, so allow yourself to do just one more rock and roll. And then find yourself back into the center for me. Take your feet and sweep your feet to the left side of your yoga mat. So just move them all the way over to that left side as far as you can. You can look back and you should see that your right heel sits somewhere between your two knees right now. All right, now that you've got that, take your two hands and walk your hands over to the left side. So now your whole body is in a side bend here. Allow yourself to go through that cat-cow motion again, but we'll add the breath this time. So can you inhale and sink your belly? You should get a nice good abdominal stretch there. And then can you exhale and tuck your tailbone, go up into cat. Inhale and sinking. Exhaling and lifting. Let's try that one more time. Inhaling and sinking. And then exhaling and lifting. You got it. Take your hands, line them back up in the center. Sweep the feet over to the right side. Once you have them there, walk your hands over to the right side. So right side bending of the lumbar spine. So really focusing on stretching the left abdominals this time. So as you inhale, sink down, feel that stretch through those left abdominals. And then as you exhale, tuck up and under. You got the idea. Inhaling, really focusing more on the pelvic movement today, not so much the head movement. Exhaling, tucking under. And then let's do one more time. Inhaling, sinking, sinking. And then exhaling, tucking all the way under. You've got it. Then walk your hands back to the center. Unsweep your feet back to the center. Line your knees up. Let's go into one more final child's pose before we change and get back to using this bolster. So take a nice deep inhale here. And as you exhale, tuck everything under. Really pull that belly up and in and gently allow yourself to sit down onto your sit bones. Dropping that chest to those knees, crown of the head one last time to the floor. Last time here in child's pose, just opening up through flexion. Take the deepest inhale into that diaphragm and belly as you can. Can you even feel your pelvic floor expand? And then as you exhale, again, no force today. Just let the exhale fall out. One more time for me. Nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, just let the exhale fall out. Wonderful. Now, slowly bringing yourself up onto your knees and taking your bolster and placing your bolster over the center of your yoga mat. So what I want you to begin with is I want you to begin with sitting on the front edge of that yoga bolster. So what we're going to be doing is rolling over onto our back and putting ourselves in an inversion. One thing that the lumbar spine desperately needs if it has pain, because we're compressing our lumbar spine so much, taking all of the weight of the body down on it. So see if you can get your left hip area right to the very front of that bolster. Once you have it there, gently allow yourself to lay down onto your left shoulder. You're already in an inversion, and then slowly roll over onto your back. Now, as you get yourself there, maybe just kind of shimmy and shake your body. Make sure that you feel like your pelvis is on top of that bolster. Maybe it's some towels, maybe it's a seat cushion, whatever you're using. All that we're trying to do today is to get our physical pelvis off the floor so that our lumbar spine is being decompressed and unloaded. All right, so hopefully you've all managed to make your way there now. So what I'd like you to do is take your right knee into your chest and then gently take your left knee into your chest. So reverse child's pose, double knees to chest, but nothing different than we were just doing, except now there is no weight on the lumbar spine. So allow yourself to gently bring those knees to your chest, hands around the shin bones here. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. One more time, nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Keep the right knee to the chest. Take the left knee, slowly drop it down onto the floor. Once you have your left foot onto the floor, you may already feel opening through the front of your left hip. That's okay. That's where we're going next. But take both hands around that right shin bone. Take a nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pull that knee nice and tight into your chest. Now keep that knee nice and tight into your chest. Kind of tuck your elbows in, squeeze through the shoulder blades, kind of firmly connect that right leg to your trunk. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Nice good opening through that right side of your gluteals here. And then with your left leg, slowly start to slide your left leg down. Now we're not going into aggressive stretching today. So as you start to slide that left leg down, where do you feel that magical point where either your heel starts to lift off the floor and you can't keep it on the floor anymore, or as you try to slide that leg, you feel the right knee coming away from your chest? That's the point I want you to find today. Once you're there, gently release the tension in your neck, settle your chin, take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, slowly pull the right knee to your chest. Now stay wherever you are today. Take a deep inhale into that belly. And exhaling out. And one more time, nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Slowly sliding that left leg back up until your foot is flat. Once the foot is flat, taking the left knee to the chest, taking the right knee, placing the right foot flat onto the floor. Taking both hands around that left shin bone, nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pulling that knee nice and tight into the chest. You've got it. Settle the neck, allow the chin to gently relax into the throat. Keeping that left knee to your chest, elbows tucked in, shoulder blades engaged. Slowly start to walk that right leg away. And as you're walking that right leg away, be keenly aware of that point where either the heel lifts off the floor and you can't keep it in contact with the floor, or the left knee starts to come away from your body. And keeping that opening right there beautifully through those right hip flexors, right hip joint, right pelvic area, right abdominals, all of the stuff that you're opening and relaxing through. Now take your focus back to your left leg. Take a nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pull that knee nice and tight to your chest. Keep that right heel on the floor. All right, let's go back to that diaphragmatic breath. So nice, slow, deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Super slow, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Then gently start sliding the right leg up until the foot is flat on the floor. And then taking the right knee all the way to the chest, hugging hands around both knees, taking a nice, slow, deep inhale here. And exhale, pull your knees to your chest. Now allow yourself to stay nice and relaxed here. Think about your low back, that part that's between the bolster and the floor right now. Imagine that you're just letting those muscles relax as every one of those segments begin to open. Lengthen your neck, soften your chin into your throat. Relax your arms. Just gently hold your legs. And let gravity do its magic here. So really focus on that deep diaphragmatic breath. Take a slow, deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. One more time. Relax that body, relax that belly, relax that spine. Slow, deep inhale into the belly and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now, very gently take your hands to your bolster, your towels, your cushion, whatever you're using, and start to push it away. As you push it away, your bottom gets towards the yoga mat. When you get to that point, what I want you to then do is roll yourself over on your left or right side, you pick, bottom elbow, top hand, push yourself up into a seated position. Once you're in a seated position, we are once again going to get on this bolster to open up through the side of our low back. One of the key muscles that causes pain in our low back is what's called your quadratus lumborum. It is a deep, deep, deep muscle that gets often tense, and we are going to create that length. So we're going to start with laying on the bolster on our left side. So just bring yourself up and on your bolster. Have your bolster again somewhere in the center of your yoga mat, wherever works good for you. But this time, what I want you to do is put your entire left leg and pelvis on that bolster. Now, most bolsters are about 12 inches long. So if you've got an average size body, you should be able to sit on the bottom or back side of that bolster. And then when we lay back down, be in an inversion with the entire pelvis on the bolster. If you're a little bit bigger, make sure you're close to the very edge of that bolster so that the pelvis, which is the key thing we want you to have on that bolster, gets on that bolster when you lay down. All right, knees stacked, feet stacked. Take that left hand, slowly drop the left hand down onto the floor, onto your yoga mat. Kind of check in. All right, do I feel like that pelvis, this big block in between our low back and our legs, feels like it's on the bolster? Once you feel like you're there, gently lower yourself down onto your left shoulder and then gently let the left side of your head rest onto the floor. Now, you're in an inversion, so you're not in a remarkable amount of left neck side bending here. However, you're in an inversion. So if your vestibular system is kind of going a little crazy right now, or you're feeling a little bit off, feel free to rest something to bring your head back upright. But most individuals should be able to tolerate that head being in that position. Now, bottom hand, so that's your left hand, bottom leg, that's your left leg. Kind of bind them. So just take the hand and place it underneath or on top of that left thigh so you can make sure that the thigh and the arm stay together. And then stack the right shoulder on top of the left shoulder. Now, allow yourself to take your right leg, lift it off of your left leg. Take a nice deep inhale here, kick the leg out, and then as you exhale, slowly try to lower that leg towards the floor. If you're lucky, the first thing you feel is a little bit of abdominal pull, but you feel this nice, vague stretch through the side of your body. That's what we're focusing on today. So can you keep that leg on the floor? Maybe even slide it a little bit behind you. Now with that right arm, lift it up in the air, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, lift that arm up overhead. So pull that rib cage away from that pelvis. Decompression of the spine, that's our entire focus today. So can you find this position and be comfortable in it? Remember, do not go to pain. Find your edge. Stay there and allow yourself to now diaphragmatically breathe. So take a slow, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. 2 more slow breaths. Don't go too fast. Really try to get that breath as deep in there as you can. And exhaling out.
And one more time. Nice, slow, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. With that right arm, inhale it back up in the air. And then as you exhale, drop it down in front of you. Now with that right leg, can you inhale, use those glute muscles, lift it up in the air, and then exhale, bring it back in. Beautiful length through the side of the back. Oftentimes where we have so much compression and that drives that pain and inflammation. Now we have to get on our opposite side. So the easy way to do this is to sit back up, flip yourself over, and then do it all over again. But if you want to at home, you can kind of do a 180 and turn yourself to the backside. I'm going to place my bottom elbow on my yoga mat, my top hand onto my yoga mat, take a nice deep inhale and push myself up into a seated position, and then simply flip myself over to the other side of my bolster. Either way you cut it, you're going to get yourself laying down on your right side, finding that inversion through your low back. So check in that your pelvis and the leg are on the bolster. Again, the goal is to get the entire pelvic area to be elevated off the floor. Drop yourself down onto your right elbow, right shoulder, right head. Once you feel like you're in a comfortable position, there, the bottom hand today. So we're really making sure that our spine stays nice and stable. Take that bottom hand and grab that bottom leg that's up on that bolster. Once you've done that, stack your shoulders so that you're not in a crazy rotation. Okay, now let's do it all over again on this left side. So allow yourself to gently lift the left leg up in the air. Take a nice deep inhale, kick that left leg out. Then exhale, drop that left leg down. Now, you may easily get to the floor. Some of us may not. But once you're there, allow yourself to kind of play with trying to slide that leg gently back. Don't let your pelvis roll, just the leg rolling back. You're really looking for getting that beautiful stretch, elongation, space, decompression, whatever you want to call it, through that low back area. You may also feel it in your abdominals, particularly if you've had any sort of abdominal surgeries. All right, let's get this left arm involved. So take a nice deep inhale, lift that arm up in the air. And then as you exhale, bring that arm up and over your body, pulling that rib cage up and away from that low back, creating that space that every one of those lumbar segments needs. Now, letting yourself rest right here, finding that peace and knowing that you're doing such a fabulous job to take care of your body. Let's start with those 3 very slow diaphragmatic breaths today. So nice, deep, slow inhale into your belly. And gently exhaling it out. No hard contractions. It's about letting go of the pain today, not creating too much stress. Let's do that 2 more times. Nice, slow, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. And 1 more time. Slow, deep inhaling in. And exhaling out. Left arm, inhale, bringing it all the way up. And then as you exhale, drop it down forward. Left leg, inhale, kick it up in the air. And then as you exhale, pull that leg all the way up and in. All right, we got to get ourselves up one last time. And I promise we're done using these silly bolsters. So bottom elbow on the floor, top hand onto the floor. Take a deep inhale here. On your exhale, contract the abdominals and push as you bring yourself back upright. Slide yourself over that bolster. Take that bolster, push it out of your way. You are done with the bolster. And then gently allow yourself to lay down on your side and slowly roll over onto your back. All right, so you may even be feeling that lengthening we did through the back of our spine, through the sides of our spine. And now what we're going to do is just do a little bit more opening through our hamstrings before we do a small little core initiation exercise, and then we'll end our class. So let's take our right knee to our chest here. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Left leg, gently slide it down onto your yoga mat. Get it nice and straight if you can. Once you're there, take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, pull the right knee into your chest. Stay right there. No inversion this time. So let's take an opportunity to take a good deep belly breath. So nice, deep, slow inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Then gently take your hands to the underside of your knee. And once you have your hands to your underside of your knee, feel like you've comfortably got that right knee anchored into your chest area. Maybe pull a little bit more with the elbows, maybe squeeze a little bit with those shoulder blades. And then take your toes and point your toes up towards your head. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Let's find our right hamstring and our right sciatic nerve. So take a nice deep inhale and lengthen through that leg. Find that point where you begin to feel tension, no further. And then as you exhale, just gently soften the knee down. Always keep the toes pointed towards your head. We're going to do that 4 more times. Inhaling, straightening. And then exhaling and relaxing. Inhaling and straightening. Exhaling and relaxing. Inhaling and straightening. Exhaling and relaxing. And inhaling and straightening. And exhaling and relaxing. You've got it. Now taking that left leg, slide the left leg up, place the foot flat on the floor, and then gently release the right foot to the floor. Taking the left knee to the chest, hands around that shin bone, nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, pull that knee into your chest. Once you got it nice and snug into the chest, slide that right leg down. Get the right leg nice and straight. And then take the opportunity here to take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, pull that left knee nice and tight into your chest. Now hold that there. Find that deep diaphragmatic breath. Really open up through that left hip and glute. Deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. And then take your hands to the underside of your knee. As you're holding the underside of your knee, take your elbows, kind of squeeze them into the side of your body. Squeeze those shoulder blades together so you get a nice tight bind with the left knee and the chest. And then take both sets of toes and point them up towards your head. All right, here we go. Take an inhale, gently start to straighten the left knee, but the knee stays towards the chest. Feel the opening through the hamstring and sciatic. And then as you exhale, gently relax the leg down. 4 more times. Lengthen your neck, soften your chin into your throat. Nice deep inhale, straightening the knee, and exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Keep those toes up 1 more time. And inhaling and exhaling. Very nice. Now keep that left knee to your chest, but take your hands to the top of your shin bone. Slide the right leg up. When the foot is flat, take the right knee, bring it up to your chest. Both knees to your chest. Take a quick little minute here to kind of rock and roll yourself side to side. Shoulder blades are back and down, and then take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, pull your knees into your chest. Beautiful. Now, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, hands to the tops of the knees here. Slowly let the knees come slightly away from the chest. So the knees are still in front of the hips, but they're not right next to your chest. And then allow yourself to drop your heels down and pull your toes up. Now feel your low back for a second before we do anything else, before you even move your hands away from your knees. Feel your low back. Check in that you feel the entire right side of your pelvis touching the floor, left side of the pelvis touching the floor, right side of the rib cage touching the floor, left side of the rib cage touching the floor. But the low back, parts of the low back are not being pushed downward into the floor right now, but rather there's about 1 inch, a small, gentle space, maybe a half an inch. You play with it, but you can feel as you hold your knees here that you can additionally tuck or you can additionally tilt. I want you to find that point where that low back is not being pushed down into the mat, but it's just softly laying off the mat. Hold that position. And then gently let your hands come away from your knees. Don't let your spine move. Then place your right hand on your right thigh, your left hand on your left thigh. Don't let that spine move. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and then very, very lightly today, push the hands into the knees into the hands. Don't let the spine move. And then imagine that you're trying to lift your leg bones up to the ceiling. You'll feel the muscles contracting, but you won't feel the spine move. Staying right here. Take a slow, deep inhale in and exhale out. 2 more breaths. Nice, deep inhale in and exhale out. 1 final breath. Let the shaking happen. Nice, deep inhale in and exhale out. And then gently bring the hands around the shin bones. Relax the feet. Pull the knees to the chest. Slow, deep inhale into your belly. And then exhale, pulling those knees deeper into that chest. You've got it. Now, keeping the left knee to the chest, slowly drop the right foot to the floor. Then slide the right leg straight down onto your yoga mat. And take the left foot and place it on top of your right thigh. Right hand, reach for that left knee. Left hand, bring it out to the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to pull that knee across your body. Feel the pelvis lift and then feel the low back lift and then feel the rib cage lift. And then slowly keep rotating until you get to that point that you start to feel that shoulder blade lift. Keep that down on the floor. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and then turn your gaze towards your left side. Keep that chin kind of tucked inward towards your shoulders so that you're not stressing your upper neck. Take a nice, slow, deep inhale into your belly here. And then exhaling out. Slow inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. And then gently turn the head back to the center. Allow yourself to start at that left shoulder blade and slowly roll the rib cage back down onto the floor. Segmental rotation, just what the doctor ordered for that spine. Roll that low back down. Roll that pelvis down and then place that left foot back on the floor. Slide the right leg up. Once the right foot is flat on the floor, go ahead and take the right knee back up to the chest again. And then slide the left leg down. And then place the right foot onto the left thigh, left hand to the right knee, right hand out to the side of your body. Taking a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, pulling that right knee to the left, feeling that pelvis unload and lift. Feeling that low back gently rotate and lift, and then feeling that rib cage lift, but keeping that right shoulder blade on the floor. Then lengthening the neck, settling the chin, and slowly turning your gaze to your right side. All right. Keep that chin downward towards that chest so there's no compression into your upper neck, and take a nice deep inhale into your belly here. And then exhaling out. One more time, slow, deep inhale in and exhaling out. And gently turn the head back to the center. Start at that right shoulder blade, using all of those spinal muscles. Segmentally unrotate, so let the rib cage come back down first. And followed by that low back, followed by that pelvis, followed by that knee upright. Place the right foot onto the floor, slide the left leg up. When both knees are bent, one final time, take the knees up to the chest. Maybe a little rock and roll as you're massaging out through all those beautiful muscles that you've made happy today. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin here. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, pull the knees into your chest. Now really engage and strengthen through your biceps here in your arms. So as you're pulling, imagine the amount of weight that your legs weigh. Allow yourself to feel that into your biceps. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. And let's take 2 slow, deep inhales into that diaphragm. Get them as low and slow as you can into that belly. And then exhaling out. One more nice, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Relax that bicep strengthening. Slowly lower one foot to the floor followed by the other. Take an opportunity here to brace, to tighten through your abdominals before you let your legs slide down to the corners of your mat. Keep that spine nice and stable, right? And then just kind of shimmy yourself around a little bit. Shoulder blades are underneath you. Rest your arms out to the side of your body. As you're resting yourself in your final savasana today, just kind of pay attention to your buttocks for a second, your pelvis area, and move yourself for one quick second and feel that point where you feel like you've got exactly the same weight coming down through your right buttocks as you do your left buttocks. And then once you feel like you're there, just let your legs completely go. And keeping your body nice and still, check in that your neck is long and your chin is gently settled into your throat. And take this last minute to rest your tongue in its resting position. So place it on the roof of your mouth. And then just gently close your eyes. And let's end just as we began today. So let's just do 3 slow diaphragmatic breaths. So just imagine that you have a hand on your left chest. Left hand, I mean, just imagine the left hand on the chest. Just imagine the right hand on the belly. Allowing the chest to stay perfectly still. Gently take an inhale and slowly expand that belly. And then as you exhale, just like a balloon deflating, just let the belly go. Through the nose, inhaling, chest stays still. Let the belly nice and inflate as you use your diaphragm. Beautiful, beautiful stretch through that low back just by doing that. And then as you exhale, just let it deflate out. And one final time here. Slowly inflate as you use that diaphragm and strengthen it and pull all that air downward. And then as you exhale, just gently let the air go. Now just normal breathing. As you start your normal breathing, do you immediately feel that belly moving on its own? I hope so. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and do circles with your wrists and your ankles. Wake up those body parts. And then when you feel like you're ready, using one leg at a time, slide your leg up, placing your foot flat on the floor, and then slowly rolling yourself over to your left or your right side, resting there just for a moment. Taking a nice deep inhale in and an exhale out. And then when you feel like you're ready on an exhale, top hand, bottom elbow, gently pushing yourself up into a seated position, easy pose, right where we began, minus the bolster. Find yourself in this position and then place your hands to the center of your heart and put a nice big smile on your face. Nice deep inhale in and exhale out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today.